I remember when we were little, my mother was saving to make sure that she can make her once-a-year donation to Huitzo.
When she decides it's going to be part of her life, such as Zionism, children, Huitzo, the sky's the limit.
She has a vision of what she wants. She pushes and she inspires other people to use their skills to make sure that whatever their goal is, that it's successful.
Her oxygen is Israel, and it's synonymous for her. Israel and Huitzo is synonymous. It's not a project for her. It's a lifelong commitment to help all those that need, and that she is able to make a difference in their lives.
She's changed people's lives. She watches things start from scratch to become buildings, to become centers.
She wakes up one morning, literally, and she would call me and say, Judy, I had a dream.
Happy belated Purim!
The way she conveys to you her project or her vision, you can't say no.
She's a person who has great empathy and understands there's a great need to make the world better.
Everything she has, she shares with people who needs it.
Her dedication, her commitment, she makes things happen.
I always introduce myself as the daughter of a survivor. And I think of my dad as a Jewish Russian soldier that raised his young family through Stalin, who was a hero that saved many Jews. So I'm the lucky one. I already was born in Chile, and eventually we moved to Peru, where my little brother Salo was born, and then to Panama, where my two older brothers already went to university.
In the very beginning, since I can remember, Maccabi, Hebraica, Rikudim, Zionistic to the bone in Panama.
My father was a Zionist. When I was 2.5 years old, he took me to Israel for the first time. My father gave me this love for Israel because his father was buried there. So that's my homeland, where my forefathers are. I always wonder, what is it that my mother feels after all the humiliation from the Nazis, from Poland, from everything she went through, and today her grandson is serving in the Israeli armed forces. If that is not a slap on Hitler, I don't know what is. But we are very proud, humble before God for all the wonderful things He's given to us.
When she was a little girl, I would take her to the meetings to Huitzo. The people would say, why are you bringing your daughter with you? That's really what she wanted.
I met Hannah in November of 1978 in University of Miami. I was 18. I got married before I was 19. The family background was the same. My father, Zichron Levacha, and her father, Zichron Levacha, Russian background. Hannah speaks Russian. Hannah speaks Hebrew. I grew up in a family that speaks Hebrew. Very Zionistic families, both.
My parents met her as they were walking out the door, moving to Venezuela that day. Simon brought her to the house. Simon had forced me to go meet with her a little bit. He would make me go with him. I saw that she was special. Yes, I was shocked when we got the phone call that they were getting engaged so soon, because Simon was a teenager also.
I met Hannah at Joe Brand in Laredo, Texas. She and Simon came in to sell us perfume. She could sell anything. Well, she said she had a brother-in-law for me. She said, what's a nice Jewish girl like that doing single, living in Laredo?
They were young, they were married, they had a baby. I said, Hannah, you have such leadership qualities. As soon as you find the time, you should give to our community, you should give to Judaism, you should give to Israel.
I had a little girl, 1 year old. We started the young chapter of WITS in that moment. Leah Freund, who was the president, she came with a young friend, her name was Mercedes.
I saw her potential since day one. Her charm, her smile, she attracted all the young people. So she brought to WITSO the young leadership.
You just couldn't say no. She was like a tornado of happiness and enthusiasm. She was full of life, full of projects.
Our big events would be in 101 in that little restaurant, and we would feed fine.
From the time I was little, everything around her life and our life depended on what time the WITSO meeting was, when the event is, who was coming over.
It was hard to get people to come, but little by little, you know, we kept at it and we became successful.
It's a lifelong commitment that she made to WITSO. She's not only a part of it, but she's really taken charge, made it flourish and grow in Miami and everywhere.
She had to do everybody's homework. She had to make sure there was dinner. She had to make sure that everything in the house was normal. But at the same time, she was like running the show for all of these events. So we would say, who is this woman? Like, where did she come from and what is she doing here? When is our mother coming back?
Many years fast forward and things are starting to move much quicker because of the internet, because we have better communication with Israel. Hannah starts being co-president of USA, and you have many more trips to Israel, more missions. And the organization is exploding now.
Until I actually went to Israel, I don't think I understood what WITSO represented. But when you actually go and you see how WITSO has impacted their lives, you want to be there to help as much as you possibly can.
You walk into the daycare centers, you see kids in cribs from infancy. It's so much part of the society.
Wherever you're needed, WITSO is there.
I don't think we can imagine Israel without WITSO.
It means the world to them. This is all they have in their lives.
It's the children. You know, it's children that come from broken homes.
She makes everyone realize that they're part of something much, much bigger than themselves.
Joseph Handelman was the epitome of what a charitable Jewish person is.
I felt the biggest honor in my life to be honored with his name.
He gave us so much strength, and this is what Hannah gives all of us around her. She deserved it because she did it with all her heart.
Miami without Hannah? I can't imagine that. Although the last year I've felt it because she's been in Israel waiting for her son, waiting for Samuel.
She's a dugma chaya, which means she's a living example of what it means to be idealistic, honorable, a real mensch.
I admire her, everything that she's doing for WITSO and for Israel.
These are our kids.
She just brings so much naches and pride. She's a gift, she's a blessing, and she's our blessing. I know that Fima loved her with all his heart. A woman of valor, a real Eshet Chayil in every sense of the word.
My first trip to Israel was when I was 3.5 years old, and it was on a WITSO mission with my mother. We spent the whole week traveling all over WITSO centers. So WITSO is very dear to me, just like it's very dear to my mother. I started my own WITSO chapter, following in my mother's footsteps.
My first memory of WITSO is having Ruthie give me raffle tickets and going around the tables, getting people to buy raffle tickets, and that was my job for years. I remember always going to the WITSO events, always being dragged to everything.
Bobby, congratulations on your award. The main reason I joined the Army was so you have new things to talk about at WITSO events, so I hope it's helping you out. When I was younger, you weren't sure if you wanted to take the job as president because you were scared that it was going to take away time from me. But I'd like to take credit that I convinced you to take the job. And because you took the job, you've made a difference for so many other kids. Mommy, I love you. Congratulations on your award, and I wish I could be there.
Mommy, congratulations. I love you. And Mommy, you never took me on the WITSO missions. You always took Lisa because she was a better student and could afford to lose school, and I couldn't. But really, really, I just wanted to go with you once. So take me now. It's never too late, Mommy.
I'm very proud of my mother for always teaching us how important Israel is, DACA is, and to give back to the Jewish community.
We love you, mulher. Oh yes, we do. We don't love any